Hello and welcome. I am so delighted that you are taking the time to take a minute and take a look at this opportunity. We truly believe that this is the best opportunity out there at this time and will provide you the chance to actually take ownership of your life. So, without further ado, let's dive right into it. So, first of all, are you somebody who is looking for more in life? You just have this deep feeling that you know you are meant for more. You're meant for something bigger, to be able to do more, to have a different lifestyle that you've been desiring, but just haven't been able to figure out how to make that happen. So if any of this looks like something that you wish that you could have, whether it's a time with your family, a different house, adventures, travel, the car, the ability to give back and give to charities, the ability to maximize and use technology to your advantage so that you can have your time and freedom back, then I want you to listen carefully to what we have to share today. So, whatever goals you might have, whether it's to become debt free or just financially secure, to have stability, to be able to give to charity, to get the house, the travel, whatever your dreams are and your goals are, we want to show you a way that we believe is the best possible way in these days to make this happen. So, this is a very important concept that if you haven't seen it before, we're going to take a little bit of time here because it's crucial that you understand the way that the vast majority of the population is currently making money and the way that you can learn to leverage, to use your time and a system to actually be able to make what you desire. So if you look at the top right, left quadrant, it's the E quadrant, the employee. Now, this actually covers the vast majority of people. They have a job. They go somewhere, they are trading their time for their money, they get a certain rate, and then they are paid based on what they do. Now, so many people get stuck in this quadrant because they believe, I want safety and security. I want to know that I'm going to have this job. I want to know what I'm going to have coming into me at this particular time. I want to know the benefits, all of that stuff. But the problem is, this is becoming less and less secure. So every year we see more and more traditional jobs, people who thought that they were going to be somewhere for a long time and they're suddenly laid off. There is no sense of security here any longer. Even the one that was there is pretty much gone. And you're really stuck. You're kind of capped out. You can only do so much with the income that you're getting in this position. It's kind of determined by somebody else rather than yourself. So a lot of people think, okay, I'm fed up with this system, so I'm going to go in and I'm going to become self-employed. So we look at the S quadrant. Now, this might be a step in the right direction, but unfortunately, so many people now just own a job. So if they got removed from the situation, if they couldn't work for a month or they couldn't, do something, they're not going to make an income. So it's still dependent on them doing every piece of it, right? So we use the term like solopreneur or something else where maybe they have a couple of employees, but it is all very dependent on them. A lot of people get into this situation thinking, well, if you want something done right, you got to do it yourself. So they become self employed. Now, a better way to do this, right, where you're still not capped by the saturation of your time, right? We only have so much time. We want to have a leveraging system. So we go into the quadrant top right, the B quadrant, a business owner. Okay, this is different than just being self employed because now you own a system. You are able to leverage your time so that income can compound over time. Here is where we can develop multiple sources of income using this model that we're going to discuss today so that you can actually start to build something. You hear the term about that passive income, right? So the ability for money to be coming to you regardless of your actual efforts and your physical time that you're putting into it. And this isn't to say that you do nothing, but doing what really amounts to maybe 6 to 10 hours a month or a little bit more if you really want to can really compound and give you greater than just a full-time income, and then it just gets more and more over time as you build more and more multiple sources of income using this business model. Okay, so this is going to really allow you to get your time back and allow you to make far more than what you would be capped at when we're looking at the E or the S quadrants. Now, if you move down into the investor quadrant, this is getting your money to work for you. Now, the beautiful part is that by doing the B quadrant, in building these multiple sources of income, now when you have that extra residual income, you could take it and turn that income and make it work for you if you know somebody who really understands investing, so that now you can even compound it and make it even larger than before. So this is where we want to be if we want to build that wealth, okay? So, this opportunity is going to give you the ability to become an entrepreneur and not just a solopreneur, but you are automatically wrapped right into a team, a full group of people who are all right there helping you, working together. Everybody is like encouraging each other and working on building it together, right? So now you're not alone ever. So I want to talk a little bit about kind of the difference in what we do here when you have, so the traditional method is that business to business of selling, right, for products. But look at how many people are going to take a cut from that, which then drives the prices up, but the quality is not there. And so each person there only has a small amount or a small piece of the pie, if you will, right? Because there's so many people in the process that are needing to get paid. So when you take that model and you change it to what we now call business to customer model, right? So we're directly selling to the customer. You are taking out so many pieces. So now if you look at this section here where we have the 33% of each item, so you have 33% of the total price can now go to research and development. So the quality of the products are much higher. We have 33% goes directly to the independent business owner, you. So actually it's a little bit higher. It's more like 43%. But this is a beautiful chunk instead of it being divided into so many places. And then 33% goes back to the company. So everybody really gets to win in this situation. The quality is better as well. So let's talk about the concept a little bit here of turning your liabilities into your assets. So to give you an idea of what we're talking about, when you think of some of the businesses like Uber, Airbnb, Flipkey, so if you have something like a car that can be considered a liability because you're just paying into it, it's not giving you money back, but now you turned it into an asset by becoming an Uber driver or maybe putting your car on Turo or something where you're now renting it out. So you can also do the same thing if you have a spare room or you have an extra house that you vacation at once in a while. When you're not using it, this is all just a liability. Now we turn it into an asset because now it's an income producing asset. So we do the same thing with things that you are using every single day, right? We look at toothpaste, body wash, supplements, home care, beauty products, like all of these things you are already consuming every single day. So that as we consume it and we're paying somebody else, those are liabilities, right? We are just giving money to somebody else while we use these products. But now you get to get them from yourself and turn them into an asset. Okay, so that is the big concept behind why this business model works so very well. So another piece of it is to look at the idea of we call social commerce. So we already know about e-commerce, right? It is the driving factor in the way that businesses sell products these days, obviously with Amazon, Shopify, eBay. We all know all about that. We also know all about social media or social networking. So when you bring those two together, where now you have built your social network and now you have a transaction through your own e-commerce, now you have what we call social commerce. So this is where we get to capitalize on our social networking system with your own store to be able to now create an income and an asset from there. So, with this business, there are 13 different ways to generate revenue. We are going to just talk about the top three to keep it simple for today, because these are the biggest ones. So, the first thing, as we discussed with changing your liabilities to assets, you just switch your shopping habits. So, instead of going to Walmart or Costco for certain things, you are going to buy these items from yourself. So you buy them from yourself, which then generates income back to you. Okay. So instead of giving your money to somebody else, you're giving it to yourself and then you get money back from that. So that's one way of generating an income by simply sharing the things that you're already using, the things that you love, that you see benefits from, sharing them with people that you know, sharing them, how you're able to do this, all of that, very simply done. We teach all about how to do this in the best process. And then that is where you get commission back again. And then by duplicating, right, we have developed a beautiful system that is perfectly designed for very easy, simple duplication. And this is where you really generate, you get into that B quadrant, the business owner quadrant, where you are leveraging a system of duplication to help make this process go even bigger for you. So these are the top three ways to generate revenue. So just a quick look at what the potential is for the income in this business. Looking at, we'll just cover the US for today, but US dollars in phase one, roughly 60,000, phase two, 125,000, phase three, 250,000. And the most important part here is that when you look at your goals and your dreams and the things that we discussed in the beginning, then you can see what do you want, and the beautiful thing is that 250,000 is not a cap. There really is no limit to the potential. Nobody's ever going to come in and say, okay, we're going to stop you at this amount. The more that you do, the more, multiple sources of income you produce, the more that you expand it, the more that you will earn. There is no stopping except for your own efforts. So the partnership is with a wonderful company with Amway, who has done $8 billion in annual sales. They have a fantastic 100% satisfaction guarantee of 6 generous months, no questions asked on any product whatsoever, even the top products. They are one of the top 50 privately held US companies, and they are getting close to 70 years celebrating. So they have been around a long time. They have changed with the times. They have adapted and evolved to become stronger and better than ever. They have paid out over $71 billion in bonuses and incentives to independent business owners since the conception in 1959. Never once have they missed a single payout. Nutrilite is the world's #1 selling nutrition supplement company in the world, and they have been around for 90 years. And Artistry is in the top 10 of the largest selling premium beauty brands, which again, you get high quality products, but not at the highest tier prices because of the way the business model is set up. So there's not all those other pieces in the middle. So again, just the things that we just covered about Amway is the business model. So this is who we partner with for our business. They also have an A+ rating in the Better Business Bureau. And Worldwide Group is the training system. So Worldwide Group is a premier membership. It is complimentary as well for the first year. And you can, or 12 months. They have also been around for over 40 years. They are an approved training provider with Amway and just a very wonderful wealth of information that will help you ensure that you are succeeding in every step of the way. So this is just showing a little bit of who our top leaders are at this moment. So a bunch of really wonderful, incredible people that we get to work with. So really quickly, one of the ways that this business model works the best is that we have highly consumable products. and they are unique products. And this is very important when you want to have this type of business model, that it is something that people are using every single day. They are very high quality and they are highly consumable. So they have to keep getting it over and over again. And the number one industry today is health and beauty and wellness. And that is exactly what we have to offer people, and some of the best quality that is available. And just quickly to cover, the discounts and deals that you see on this page are for independent business owners. You get discounts at all of these top places, just as part of your business ownership. So looking at, we won't cover this in a lot of detail, but just so you get an idea of just a little bit of the products that are offered, there are more than 350 different products. They are constantly being revamped, redone, so that the quality is always at the best. New products are always coming out on whatever the new trends are. For example, we now just had a really well updated creatine supplement. And we know that that is something that is really important these days. People are understanding the benefits of creatine, so it is becoming a lot more popular. So we really stay on trend, see what things people are desiring, and then create the best possible option for that. Now, what makes our specific organization different? So within this business model, there are so many people that are operating on what we like to call an old school system. So that relies on face-to-face meetings, manual presentations, maybe doing things in person. The business stops if you're busy or you're unavailable, or you're on vacation, you have to do everything manually, right? So training might be inconsistent or difficult to access. Now, our system, we have created a beautiful 24/7 automated system that you get to plug right into, utilizing AI, automations, reminders, follow-ups, everything to keep prospects connected, making sure that their questions get answered, and making sure that you have the freedom to build this anywhere that you like, locally, nationally, globally, from anywhere, and that every team member receives organized, well thought out, training, tools, mentorship. So this is what is going to set us apart to make this the absolute easiest possible. And this is why you can only put in maybe 6 to 10 hours a month and still create a big, beautiful business. So just briefly to go over what our process looks like and the phases that we like to take people on, so you can see just how quickly it is. No prior experience or knowledge is needed, but as you can see through this, by 120 days, you're ready to coach somebody else, right? So you spend the first 30 days really learning, building the entrepreneurial mindset, understanding what the expectations are. Phase two, really becoming a player, getting out there, starting to get your system going, getting things, all the little pieces working. By phase three, the 90 days, you are, already a captain. You're already growing your team. You're already serving customers in a beautiful way. And by 120, day 120, you're already ready to coach somebody else. So it does not take long to understand, learn the process. It's a simple system, so that now you go from brand new to being able to help somebody else in a very short amount of time. So what we are looking for, though, even though absolutely anybody is able to join this opportunity, we are a little bit more selective on who we take on. We want people who are coachable, who are motivated, who are excited and driven. They know that they are meant for more, and they understand, they can see the vision, they understand the opportunity, they see what they're able to get through this, and they're dedicated to putting in the little bit of work to make sure that it pays off. So if that describes you, then we want to make sure that you definitely take the next steps in the educational process so that you can join us today. So what are those next steps? So, as I said, this is the first step of your education process. Okay, we want you to make sure you take ownership of your education going forward. Review the materials that are being shared with you. Rewatch this video if you need to make sure there's nothing that you missed. And schedule your follow up meeting as quickly as possible while the information is fresh so that you can get all of your questions answered and you can understand how this process works and what you get to do next. Okay. And then I also encourage you to make sure to write down your goals so that you know what it is that you're looking for to get out of this opportunity. It's always important to understand and know that you're clear about what you want to accomplish. So, why this opportunity and why now? I would say now more than ever, because as we discussed before, security does not exist anymore. Unfortunately, there are so many ways that, people are being replaced by AI or different things are happening and companies are just not able to keep their employees the way that maybe they used to in the past. This gives us a ability to have ownership of something. Nobody can take it away from us. Okay, you own it. So it has a much higher amount of security with that. This is a fully remote opportunity. You can be anywhere in the world and still growing your business and maybe even making it even better because of that. It has complete flexibility, so it can work around any schedule. You have the ability to put as little or as much into it as works for you. You actually get that chance to create passive income in what I think is the best way possible. There's a lot of people out there that try to claim the passive income, but I haven't seen it work in the way that it works here anywhere else. Okay, this is really by far the best business model that there is right now. You have the opportunity to make a full-time income and beyond working very part-time hours. Um, the entire training system that we have put together and all of your mentorship is completely complimentary, which is absolutely incredible. It is high quality training and mentorship and personal development and growth, all of these things that you're going to get to help you on your entrepreneurial journey to ensure that you have the best success possible. The tax benefits alone are enormous. This is a 1099 opportunity. So, if you understand what that means, and then you understand all of the different ways that we can now have write-offs and have these beautiful tax benefits, it's huge. Huge opportunity there as well. There's performance pay, and all of the heavy lifting is already done for you by the supply company, which if you have ever tried to start a business before, you can understand how incredibly valuable this is. Day one, your website, everything that you need is already set up within 10 minutes or less, actually. And there is nothing you have to do. You don't have to create any products. You don't have to do all that research and development. You don't have to do all the advertisement. Like everything is already there for you. And that is a huge saver of time, effort, and energy. And as we said before, 1099, you get all of the benefits of being self-employed as well. So I just love this quote really quickly. I see this all the time. People do not always have the patience to dedicate up to 3 years of building something of their own business, but they have the patience to work for somebody else for 40 years. So who are you going to be? Are you going to take 1 to 3 years to build something incredible, or are you going to keep working for somebody else for 40 years and get no ownership from that? So thank you so much for taking the time today to listen to this presentation. Now fill out the short application and book your follow-up call so you can get all of your questions answered and get started as quickly as possible.